Now over 80 national and local TV guide magazines include complete TSN program listings. If you've had problems finding out what's on TSN, check your local newsstand or newspaper supplement for the latest edition in your area and watch for this TSN on-air program guide for last-minute changes. Now, let's take a look at what's coming up on TSN.
Hello, everybody. Russ Howard, the Canadian curling champion of 1987, and Clyde Austin of the Harlem Globetrotters, our guests on your show. It's your call. We're going to have some fun tonight if you'll give us a call collect at area code 416. The number is 445-1811. And if you're in the Toronto area, simple. Just dial 445-1811. When Ontario skip Russ Howard faced BC's Bernie Sparks in the very first round of the Brier, the tournament scriptwriters began working on their clever plot. With the score tied 2-2 in the fourth end, BC third Jimmy Armstrong made this great shot, scored a triple takeout to lie one, and Sparks and company went on to an 8-5 win. Howard had plenty of time to contemplate the loss, and ironically, the opportunity for revenge came in the Brier final. With BC leading 7-6 in the 10th end, tension mounted. Howard had 5 in the house, but Sparks's yellow stone was the shot rock. As Howard delivered the final shot of the Brier, he had last year's runner-up finish to think about, as well as the outcome of this 1987 drama. Needing a takeout to win, he drilled the BC stone out of the rings and captured the championship, thus ending a carefully woven tale of irony and revenge. There he is, the man who won it all. Russ Howard, congratulations. We were delighted to see you win. A little surprised when you dropped that first game. I thought maybe you'd really be in kind of a jackpot. What were your feelings after you lost to Bernie Sparks in round one?
Well, the first round's so important. You've got almost a month to think about the Brier coming up, and you lose the first one. We knew Bernie was going to be there at the end of the week, and we had to get back on top of Bernie to get a playoff spot. So it was an important game. You
know, it's funny, when you were on the show, I said to you, who are you concerned about? And Bernie Sparks was the name that leapt right out. He played well, but when it came to the crunch, you came through. I want to ask you this, and it may seem to be a naive question. How many times should you make an open takeout? I mean, you made it to win the Brier. Is that an absolute cinch?
I wish it was. It isn't. It isn't. The ice conditions would really dictate your percentages there. Most the top curlers at the Brier would make an open takeout maybe 75–80% of the time, but the ice conditions, the spots on the ice you're throwing at, the situation, and everything dictates the difference in percentages. But I'd say 70–75% of the time.
You know, crowd enters into any sporting event. I'm curious to know this. How were you guys received? The Ontario rink, the big bad guys from Ontario going out west to play in the Brier. How did they feel about it?
We were definitely the big bad guys, I'm afraid. I think, in all fairness to the crowd, they're a very knowledgeable crowd out there. The Western curling crowds are notorious for being knowledgeable, but you've got Bernie Sparks on one side, and they had Pat Ryan to cheer for, and we certainly took a back seat to those guys.
Well, there's somebody from British Columbia who is probably still upset the fact that you beat Bernie Sparks in the final. Let's go to Fruitvale, British Columbia. Kelly's on the line. Go ahead, Kelly.
Hello. I'd like to congratulate Russ Howard on his first Labatt Brier.
Well, Kelly was just saying that he wanted to congratulate you on winning your very first Brier, and obviously people from across the country are delighted for you.
Thank you. Thank you very
much. And my question is, what was your strategy going into the last end against Bernie Sparks?
Well, after the disastrous ninth end, we knew we had to score 2 points. We had to go all out trying to, in most cases when you have last rock, you try to keep the middle open, but in this case, with all the straw debris in the ice, we knew the come-around shot was the shot that was easiest to make, and as soon as we had a guard out in front, we tried to get in there as fast as we could, put some pressure on Bernie's front end.
Well, Kelly, we thank you for your call, and since we started in British Columbia, let's go to the other end of the country now. Not quite the exact opposite end of the country, because I've been reprimanded previously by people from Newfoundland that I don't give them credit for being on the opposite extreme of British Columbia. But we're going to go to John, who's standing by in Digby, Nova Scotia. Go ahead, John.
Hello there. I got a question for Russ there. I was just wondering how he thought about corn brooms against the push brooms.
Good question. The corn broom's been a sticky point with our team a little bit. There isn't that much of it in Ontario. We are susceptible to it in the Brier. There's always 2 or 3 teams that use it. Most push broom curlers don't like it. The corn broom adds another dimension to the game. It puts a lot of debris in the ice. A lot of things can go wrong on a 26-second draw shot with all the debris in the ice. And it's part of the game. Bernie Sparks has made it famous, and he knows how to use it, and it adds color to the game.
Well, it sure does. Boy, I'll tell you, I really think that you guys have missed the boat. I mean, that clack, clack, clack that you used to hear, now it looks like somebody doing their housework. I mean, it drives me nuts.
Yes and no. The push broom is definitely a useful tool. It's probably more effective at getting the rock down the other end, and it's certainly easier on the curler. It's not nearly as demanding, and I'll tell you, I'm not as young as I used to be. When if I was using a straw broom out there, I wouldn't be making too many shots.
All right, well, we talked about Newfoundland and our good friends out there. One of them is on the line right now to talk to Russ Howard. Fred from Newfoundland is on the line. Go ahead, Fred.
Hi, Pat. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, Russ.
Yes?
I'd like to ask you a question. What did you think of the Newfoundland rink in the Brier this year?
Oh, they're a tremendous bunch of guys. They curled really well. They had an attitude that was superior to their age. I thought they had a lot of class throughout the tight games. We played them in a very important, pivotal game, and we got ahead early, and they didn't get down. Their attitude was good, and that shows well for upcoming years, I'm sure.
Fred, what else is on your mind tonight?
Russ, this thing about the winner of the Labatt Brier, do you automatically go to the 88 Olympics, or is there trials that go on?
No, we're automatically into the 88 playdown, so is the runner-up.
Incidentally, those trials are here on the Sports Network. You'll see them. You'll also see Russ when he competes in the World Curling Championships next week, as a matter of fact, right here on TSN. Let's go to Weston, Ontario. Doug is on the line. Go ahead, Doug.
Yes, Russ, congratulations. And I know you were commenting briefly on the last end, but if the situation were reversed